This is Bruce Buffer, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the MMA-Holes!
Mixed martial a-holes. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes.
No way.
The Aunt and Uncle Studios of Arizona. UFC Vegas 19 recap. The Black Beast goes ham on Curtis Blaydes. MMA news with the MMA-Holes. Yeah, baby.
Wonderful.
Hello, friends. How you doing? Hopefully everyone is wonderful. It is Monday night, my favorite night of the week, the beginning of the work week. Hopefully everyone's as joyous as I am right now. JBH, how are you?
Wonderful, Moss.
Wonderful.
Everyone loves Monday, right? Monday? Well, Monday night, because Monday's over. So you got the first day out of the way, and now you got the rest of the week to go party with and hang with the boys. The Black Beast went crazy. Went absolutely crazy. I got to say, Curtis Blaydes started off fairly decent. I didn't end up that decent. Became a meme as the Black Beast completely takes his soul. And then some troll on the internet tries to take his soul again. We'll discuss the troll. We'll discuss UFC Vegas 19. JBH?
Yes?
Lots of things to talk about tonight. What would you like to start with?
Let's start with the troll.
The troll.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it wasn't the troll who tried to take his soul. I wouldn't go that far. But he certainly maybe got a little more than he wanted. You can tell whatever he was doing was for attention, and it wasn't the right kind of attention.
Did you notice that Derrick Lewis was trolling as well? Which was
but Lewis
really funny.
Always trolls, and he wasn't like calling him up and like harassing him. This troll decided to harass Curtis Blaydes.
Well, before we get into that, hold on a second. Let's just show Derrick Lewis says he's okay. He's got a thumbs up, Jess.
Yes.
Derrick Lewis says he's okay. He's okay because he's giving his thumbs up. And Herb Dean was getting blasted a little bit for not getting there in time.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, now you understand why Herb Dean didn't get there in time. You know, there are other people who are saying, well, you know, he could have got there quicker, but he got the thumbs up, Jess.
Yeah.
Curtis Blaydes said he was fine.
So Herb Dean was like, all right.
Yeah, Herb Dean was just waiting. You know, the follow-up shot comes in, and then he's like, okay, whoa. And then, you know, two, as we saw, viciously landed on Curtis Blaydes' face. And, I mean, I thought he died. Apparently, he was snoring. I didn't hear this. Mm-hmm. But they were saying he was snoring in the cage. Mm-hmm. You know, just want to say before Jesse gets into this news, I'm not here to dogpile on Curtis Blaydes. I might have celebrated excessively the night of because I'm a Black Beast fan. But now the aftermath, watching again, hearing it again, the cracks of the Black Beast hands on the face of the Forrest Whitakered Curtis Blaydes. Mm-hmm. He almost had the same eyes as Forrest Whitaker after he got hit there, Jesse. I had to pump the brakes. I had to say, wait, hold on a second. I can't be posting no memes. I can't be going crazy about this. You know, the guy's got to be, he's got to be devastated. You know, it was a big opportunity, potentially a number one contender, and to get taken out like that, it's got to be tough. But then, Schmuck Boy decides to hit the internet.
Yes.
And let's get to that story.
All right, so according to Gabriel Coleman of Sportskeeda,
of what?
Sportskeeda.
The hell kind of magazine? What is it? A magazine?
You never heard of Sportskeeda? I've gone there a million times over.
Sportskeeda?
Yeah.
No, I never heard of it. Sportskeeda. It sounds like, you ever hear of the animal, the
I love
dog
Sportskeeda.
breed,
They do
Akita?
like, they have like cool predictions articles and stuff too.
Oh, okay.
Like
Well, thank you,
before
Sportskeeda, for the opening story.
Curtis Blaydes has allegedly received a video call from a hacker who found Blaydes' phone number to make fun of him due to his defeat to Derrick Lewis at last weekend's UFC Vegas 19. Number 2 in the heavyweight rankings before the fight, Curtis Blaydes had 4 straight victories coming to the bout against Lewis. Razor got knocked out with a violent uppercut from the Black Beast in the second round of the clash. In the video that has emerged on social media, Curtis Blaydes is visibly confused as he does not recognize the person who is calling him. There is a third person in the video, presumably Curtis Blaydes' girlfriend. The interaction lasts only a few seconds and the conversation develops as follows. The troll said, "Yo, Curtis, you got knocked the fuck out, boy."
Well, you want to show it?
Sure, if you
Let's
want.
just show it. I'm sure everyone's seen this already. But we're here to help the people out that didn't see it as well. So this is all over the internet. In fact, at the MMA-Holes, we retweeted this. But check it out.
Yo, Curtis, you got knocked the fuck out, boy. You got knocked You got knocked the fuck out, boy.
Stop being a fucking weirdo, bitch.
You got knocked the fuck out, boy.
Fucking more.
You got knocked the fuck out.
Okay. So apparently that was on some sort of FaceTime call. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, what a fucking asshole.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
what
pretty
an
fucked up.
asshole. Like this. And look at the best is the look on Curtis Blaydes' face. Like, huh? Like,
Yeah.
he looks so sweet, right?
Well,
Look how sweet he looks,
that's
Jesse.
the thing. Like when
How do you do that to
when
him?
I saw his face, I felt so fucking bad for him because like you could see like I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I can see pain in the dude's
It looks
eyes.
like he's gonna cry.
Like it's just fucked up. Like there's trolling and then there's just being a horrible human being.
Yeah, it legit looks like Curtis Blaydes is gonna cry.
Yo, Curtis, you got knocked the fuck out, boy. You got knocked
Who's this, man? Like he could have been like, shut the fuck up.
So fucked up.
It's like, he's so gentle. I feel terrible.
The guy who called Blaydes, his real name is William Calabro.
Oh, right.
He lives in Pennsylvania
Okay,
and
no
he is
need, no.
600 pounds overweight.
Yes, no,
That's
thank
not
you.
necessary.
Thank you, the glove.
But they to tag off
do
of
that.
Glove Touch's donation, they did find out who he was. They found his social media. They found everything about this guy.
Yeah.
And they posted it all over MMA Twitter. It's been on there all
Now,
day.
I just want to say this: are we for sure that that's the kid? Like I've been seeing his
See,
picture all day.
so-
I'm not gonna show the picture. You could go online and see it. I don't want to dogpile on that kid because the kid deserves it. Let's be honest. The kid deserves everything he
Well, he
gets.
did what he did for attention. It's just not the right attention.
Yeah.
So that's a good question because there are a select few people on the internet who are asking, how do we know that this is the real guy?
Yeah. How do we know? We should get him on the show, Jess.
But there's some people who are like, I guess, super confident or have evidence or whatever. I don't really know where they got this information from, but someone was comparing the hairline on the top of the video. You see there, right at the hairline at the top in the middle?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
shit!
so
I didn't see that until now. Yeah.
Someone was comparing the hairline. Someone was saying that
It's like
it's
the
like
forensic-
all sorts of weird shit.
MMA
but-
Twitter is just ruthless. I did not even see this.
Yeah. So
I thought it was a black kid, to be honest. Like, what's up with the white kids talking like black kids now? What's that? What the hell is that about? Confused me. I thought it was a black kid. Look, it's another fucking stupid white kid.
well, listen. At the end of the day, this kid got doxxed and he got karma. The karma came to him.
Wow, man. The hairline. How about that? I didn't even see that.
People are making memes now, and people are doing like fake breaking news saying the UFC has announced Curtis Blaydes versus this troll kid.
That's
is
what
the
I
next
said.
fight.
I'm like, all right, you got his phone number. That's what I said on social. You got his number. Give Curtis your address now. I think that would be fair, right? And have Curtis say, you're going to get knocked the fuck out, boy.
Got knocked the fuck out, boy. You got knocked You got knocked the fuck out, boy.
Stop being
Like, what the fuck?
So,
what kid? By the way,
also-
what kid talks like that?
Fuck out, boy. You got knocked You got knocked the fuck out, boy.
Oh, man, look how sweet he is, Jess.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
It's like, this is, by looking at this video, I feel like, you ever see the movie The Green Mile?
Yes.
With Michael Clark Duncan
Yes.
played the guy, like, he was a little slow, sweetheart, big,
Like he has
muscular
like
guy.
superpowers or something.
Yeah, I feel like this is like The Green Mile. Like, you don't do this to Curtis Blaydes. You don't do the guy already got embarrassed.
Also, apparently the troll posted some sort of like really like
I just want to, he's so sweet.
like
Look
an
at him.
apology on his social media story that was like, it was just, he didn't put any
Wait, the kid put an apology out there?
Yeah, but he didn't put any effort into it. It's like a GIF of someone like doing this or some shit like that. Like there was no effort put into it. I think he just did it and he shut down all the comments on his social media so that people can't, mention him or comment to him or anything. He can't get harassed. And my thing is this. If he had his social media open in the first place and he had the audacity to go to another human being like this who just suffered a fucking knockout, which is a brutal thing. I don't even want to think about, like, I couldn't even imagine getting knocked out the way Curtis Blaydes got knocked out and having someone call and do that. So if he had the audacity to do that, but he wasn't ready.
Well, he got what he deserved.
But he got the attention. For the backlash. Then why do it in the first place?
So I want to know how this got leaked. So the kid got his number and then decided to throw it on the internet to be hilarious.
Yeah, my assumptions are, they don't have the full details on it, but my assumptions are he probably posted it. It got picked up and shared, went viral, and then everyone figured out who it was. And then before he knew it, he got all the wrong kind of attention. He didn't get the attention he wanted. It was the complete opposite. So now he's like, oh, let me go ahead and shut down all my social media and my comments and shit like that before people get too hard on me.
Now, wait until you see the kid. I'm not going to show the picture of the kid. I'm not going to do that.
It's not hard to find the kid.
You can find
he's
it.
all over the place.
My goodness.
Yeah.
This is the last person that should be doing this. But it makes you realize that a lot of the most insensitive, trolly people on the internet, the most vicious ones, look like that kid. Like that kid... he's literally the poster boy for everyone that pretty much does that. Like, they all have fucking issues. This kid clearly has mental issues and went out there and did that. Listen, I could understand how some people might see it being a little funny. At first, I kind of wanted to laugh, and then I was kind of like, this is fucked up. I couldn't figure it out. But the innocence of Curtis Blaydes here, I couldn't. My heart, it just started to break.
Yeah, it was really fucked up.
Fuck out, boy. You got knocked the fuck out, boy.
Stop being a fucking weirdo, bitch.
The best is his girlfriend is tougher than him. The girlfriend that should be Curtis Blaydes.
He's not tough. I think he's just trying to figure out how to handle the situation. Like, nobody expects that. That's like I said before. There's a difference between being a troll and just being a really fucked up human being. And to me, in my opinion, this situation, he's just being a fucked up human being. He's not even being a troll. Like, there's nothing funny about it.
No.
Like, we've seen and heard stories before of fighters who, when they get knocked out, it's devastating. Like, it can be really devastating for a fighter. So to call them up and fucking, it's just like, it's so invasive.
It's weird, man. Who the hell wants to be an MMA fighter?
It's so fucked up.
There's really, like, no matter what, unless you're Habib.
Wonderful.
JBH, you can't even give me props in a live stream on a Sunday in the backyard. Moss, which MMA hole is funny? Moss, Manny says pretty funny, huh? JBH, I think Pulse or Chrome is funny. Moss, but Manny says funny. JBH, has Mustafa called in lately?
Yeah, Mustafa's pretty funny. Good thing I'm not here to lick your ass, Manny C.
Manny versus Mustafa. Just don't say anything bad about Nate Diaz, or you will lose that fight, Manny. Back to this. Thank you for the donation. Not sure what the hell that had to do with this. But yeah, where are we going? Like, what the fuck kind of donation? The donation was so out of left field. Like, I don't even know what to say.
Wonderful.
I've been thinking about that for the last couple of days. Thank you, Martin. Martin for the 2. Thank you. And there's Nate Diaz. Look at him. Okay. So yeah, this situation, it's a fucked up situation. And if you want to troll the kid, he's online and knock yourself out. But
yeah, it was fucked up.
It's crazy, man. It is crazy. If you want to be an MMA fighter, eventually you're gonna lose. Eventually something's gonna happen to you where you're gonna be humiliated in your underwear. Like, the sport, you're an athlete in your underwear. And Curtis Blaydes not only was in his underwear, but he was knocked the fuck out, boy. There he is. Like, it's just so embarrassing. When you lose in this game, it's very, very embarrassing. And then you got everyone on the internet just trolling the shit out of you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, poor Curtis, man. Hopefully he bounces back from this victory. I think he won't. I really think that the Ngannou knockouts, I think this is going to be something that's going to be in his head, and it's going to hurt him moving forward. I really do. The fact that he is so susceptible of that shot. He gets dropped. He's a guy that just gets dropped. It just happens here. And 2 guys that did it are indeed beasts, no pun intended. but it's going to be in the back of his head. I think it's going to be a problem. How funny, though, is like everyone is talking about this situation, and everyone's just forgetting how amazing what the Black Beast did. Like,
well, I'm not forgetting because I have a lot on Derrick Lewis today.
All right, let's get into it.
There's actually quite a ton, Moss, on Derrick Lewis.
Okay.
And the first one I wanted to point out was MMA Junkie posted a tweet, and you had mentioned this on the night of the fights, but I found it so fascinating just to like actually see the numbers. Was fascinating to me. They tweeted, "No one has more knockouts inside the octagon than Derrick Lewis after his UFC Vegas 19 finish of Curtis Blaydes." And then they posted this picture, and it's one thing to hear it from someone, but it's another thing to actually see it, and it's pretty awesome to look at. Most knockouts in UFC history. Derrick Lewis defeats Curtis Blaydes, UFC Fight Night 185. Vitor Belfort had 11. Matt Brown, Anthony Johnson, Anderson Silva, and Thiago Santos.
It's amazing. It really is. That's what I was screaming. I was screaming number 20. I mean, number 20 knockouts overall is insane, but 12 in the UFC. It's nuts. And if you think about it, a lot of these knockouts, it's how they went down, too. It wasn't the fact that he's just, hey, he's got all these knockouts. But when these knockouts have happened in certain fights, you're like, wow.
They were unexpected.
Yeah, dude losing fights, held down in fights, just completely getting out, just struck like by guys like Volkov, comes back, boom, walk off, gets it done. It's really amazing what the Black Beast has done with his career. Yeah. And I am happy that Daniel Cormier has given him the respect he deserves too, because Daniel Cormier said this is a different Black Beast, and I agree. This is not the same Black Beast. I said this. Not the same Black Beast that fought Daniel Cormier. This is a well-prepared guy that can stuff takedowns. This is a guy that does have that power. He
even said that he and his team expected Curtis Blaydes to go for that takedown, so he was ready for the uppercut. They planned the uppercut, knowing full well Blaydes was going to go for a takedown. So it was just timed appropriately and well-planned.
Now, what about the argument of Curtis... I mean, not the argument, but what about the thought of Curtis Blaydes actually looking fairly decent on the feet? I mean... Maybe I'm nuts, but Curtis actually looked all right.
I feel he won the first round. I remember there was someone on Sunday when we were streaming who said that he didn't win the first round, and that's nuts.
Well, I don't know what the judges said, but that's what I saw. I saw Blaydes win the first.
I feel Blaydes won the first, for sure. Now, one thing, and Brett Baratheon brings it up in the chat, he says he's a possum, which is a smart game plan, and I think that's why it's a little difficult to say, like, oh, Curtis Blaydes won the first round, because Derrick Lewis, how he plays the game. Like, every fight, he goes in there, he starts losing that first round, maybe even the second, and then he just comes in swinging, and he just finishes the fight. So you could use that and say, oh, that's why, Black Beast didn't technically lose, because it was his game plan to come in like a possum. But either way, I think Curtis Blaydes looked good in the first round.
Makes me scratch my head. Listen, I'm not a fighter in any way. I'm just a guy that sits here on the chair, yells and screams, and just loves watching these guys and gals compete. So when it comes to breaking down these fights, what do I know? But if it's working, right, why not keep it up? Like Derrick Lewis is going into this thing. Blaydes knows. There's that knee and there's that uppercut that could be a problem. So if the first round is working, why wouldn't Blaydes just keep that party going, right? Keep just cruising, play it safe, and then as Derrick Lewis gets a little bit more tired, he gets a little bit more comfortable, then shoots for that takedown. It seems like he's like, oh, I got this bitch. Let me shoot for this takedown.
Well, that's exactly what it is. I think that Derrick Lewis does a very good job confusing his opponents. He comes in and he plays possum. He makes it look like.
But this is already known, though. This is what baffles me. But
they still fall for it.
Yeah. It's
and he makes it he makes the opponent feel like they're in control. So the opponent naturally, when feeling like they're in control, is like, oh, I got this. I can do whatever I want. Yeah,
it is nuts. And I yelled, and we clipped it out on Instagram. We didn't put it up on Instagram, but I yelled, "You stupid fuck," to Curtis Blaydes. And I was maybe a little insensitive. Maybe I was a little insensitive with that, okay? But I was a fan, and, I was in the heat of the moment. I picked Curtis Blaydes, but I really wanted Derrick Lewis to win this fight. But it kind of was a dumb move, right? I mean, it's working. Whatever's working is working,
Yeah.
So I could understand this, like, if these fighters that don't utilize their wrestling, but they're losing the fight. And people are like, why didn't they go to their wrestling? He legit was winning that first round. He was kind of cruising, and Derrick Lewis kind of lulls you in. So it's there. Why fall into the trap that everyone else falls into?
I think it's weird, right? Curtis Blaydes probably felt, I'm winning this fight. I'm in control. I can ultimately make whatever move I want without any consequences. I think that's kind of what was going on. I I can't say for sure that's what was going on in his head, but that's what I would assume.
Yeah, I would love to find out what was going through Curtis's head besides the fist and forearm of Derrick Lewis. Because the first shot that hit, the angle is really weird.
It was like right
I don't think it was
under the chin.
Yeah, the hand looked like it hit his like neck, chest,
and the chin.
But his forearm.
The gullet. Is that what it's called? The gullet.
Yeah, I mean, getting punched in the chin by the neck by Derrick Lewis has got to be a horrible experience.
But it had to have been on the chin enough to knock him out.
I wonder.
The neck wouldn't have knocked
they
him out.
said the way he was snorting on the mat, Curtis Blaydes. I wonder if he did get fucking hit in the neck with the fist and then the forearm, and it just knocked the wind out of him when he was going down. Like a lot of people said,
how would that knock the wind out of him?
Black Beast punching you in the neck.
I feel like it would break your trachea.
And think about this.
The wind out
but think about this. Curtis Blaydes, all his momentum was literally going into that punch.
Yeah.
Like everything was just a mess, a complete mess. So Curtis Blaydes is going down after this bizarre like uppercut coming in. He's going down, and you can tell he's just not. You can see as he's falling down in slow motion.
He had to have hit his chin a little bit in order for him to get knocked out.
Well, I mean, if you get punched full force in the neck, I mean that is gonna.
I've
fuck
never
you
been
up.
punched full force in the neck.
I mean that
so
is.
I don't
That's
know.
it was bizarre. Like it was like his chest. But the forearm kind of hit his chin a little bit. It was just like the perfect storm.
It was right on the chin, continued to the chest. Yeah, something had to hit his... In order to knock him out, it had to hit his chin.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, we didn't get to see... Because the Black Beast jumped on him so fucking quick.
The 2 follow-up shots...
Oh, they were brutal, man.
They were right on the fucking chin. And they were nasty.
Did you hear it?
Blaydes was knocked out, because if he was awake when he fucking when those things came in, and God forbid he tensed up those joints, he would have fucking broken his jaw.
With no doubt, I agree with Brewster. He was knocked out on the way down. I watched it a million times, and it did look like he kind of went limp and was on his way down to the mat. But when he went down to the mat, and the fight was legit over, then we'll get to the Herb Dean thing in a second. Those follow-up shots on a dead man. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like it was such a violent rewatch.
Yeah.
Hearing the sounds and watching it, and there's nothing wrong with Derrick Lewis. You fight until the ref stops you.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the follow-up shots are brutal.
Oh my God. Thankfully Curtis Blaydes is okay.
Well, let's talk about the follow-up shots, because obviously a lot of people had an issue with, and it's not this one, it's the next.
Look at this picture.
No, it's the next one. Don't go to this one
I
yet.
just want to show the picture anyway. Look at this. Look at that. I can't. This is better than the Ask Her Knee. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah. All right. So according to Damon Martin of MMA Fighting, Derrick Lewis explains the extra punches after Curtis Blaydes' knockout, saying that's not my fault. That's Herb Dean's fault. So I'm sure you guys know by now, if you're on MMA Twitter or anything like that, some people, actually a pretty decent group of people, had a huge problem with Herb Dean letting the fight go, or with Derrick Lewis coming in with the 2 follow-up shots. So he kind of just brushed it off. Yeah, listen, every fighter finishes. They will continue to fight until the ref stops it.
I listen. I know we're gonna get into this, but come on, give Herb a break here. That happened so fucking quick.
Yeah.
Like, and Herb, you see, he did like the Fred Flintstone, like the legs were moving. Like Herb was like, holy shit, let me get over there.
Yeah.
It happened so fucking fast. What do you want Herb to do? Fly? Like what do you want him to do? I mean, it was so fast. Yes, there were 2 unnecessary shots, but what in the fuck? Maybe Herb was in the wrong standing position in the cage. I mean, he literally beelined it over there. Yeah, they said he was yelling stop. Like, what do you want Herb to do? Herb has been in situations.
I don't even think people are after Herb. I think because people got upset. Yeah, but people got upset with Derrick Lewis for the 2 shots, and he said that's not my fault. That's Herb Dean's fault.
Well, that's stupid. I mean, listen, you do see some fighters walk away and say, "Yo, stop it. He's done." You do see that, but the Black Beast is in kill mode. Like this is a fight.
Every fighter will continue to fight until the ref steps in and pushes him off. It's just the way the game goes. This is
nuts, man. I saw people criticizing Herb Dean, and I was like, all right, come on. What are we doing?
It's not like football where you get a penalty for pushing your opponent. It's not like that. You have to keep fighting until the ref stops it.
There's also memes of Herb. They're pretty funny. Him on his way over to stop it. Like, did you see those action shots of Herb Dean? I'll look for it. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can find it while you're telling the story.
All right, so according to Damon Martin of MMA Fighting, Derrick Lewis finished Curtis Blaydes. As we all know, Blaydes was already unconscious from the initial impact of the punch as Lewis stuffed a takedown attempt with his fist. But the fight wasn't over just yet. Lewis jumped down to land 2 more shots before referee Herb Dean was able to rush in to stop the fight, with the end coming at 1 minute and 26-second mark of the second round. Afterward, Lewis was shouting at Blaydes' corner, but it turns out the verbal exchange had nothing to do with any kind of ill feelings or personal grudge being settled in the cage. He said, quote, because his corner, his coaches were talking about, that was bullshit. I was saying that's not my fault. That's Herb Dean's fault. So Curtis's corner even got upset at Lewis for the 2 follow-up shots.
Okay, well, hold on a second. For you to say that, I mean, this is a man that's looking to stop that fight. When you wake up late for work, there he goes. There goes Herb. He was kind of far away.
But listen.
Dude, that's hysterical.
He was getting in there as fast as he could.
Yeah. That's a man on a mission to stop the freaking fight. That's not a man just waiting for more shots to happen. That's a man that's like, holy shit, I'm witnessing a murder. This is a murder.
Yeah. While there are a long list of highlights that feature one-punch walk-off knockouts, Lewis promises that's never going to be him because he's just not built that way. His argument comes from the instructions issued to athletes prior to the event, where they are told to continue fighting until the referee tells them to stop.
By the way, he's still on his way over to stop the fight. He's still in the way.
Lewis said that's what he is always going to do, even if it appears his opponent is clearly not mounting a comeback. He said, quote, I can't just turn the switch off just like that. I know some fighters could do that, but I can't do that. I've got to wait until the referee pulls you off them, because you never know what happens. Anything can happen. He could turn into Undertaker and sit straight up and eat all those shots. You never know. You've got to keep going on until the referee says chill out. The finish also ties Lewis for the most knockouts in UFC history, alongside former champ Vitor Belfort with 12 overall. Entering the record books was the least of his concerns when the fight started, as Lewis explained that he felt sluggish during the opening round and he was struggling to get going. Prior to the takedown attempt that led to the knockout, Lewis saw Blaydes starting to find more confidence in his striking, and that only fueled his desire for a finish that much more. The game plan worked out perfectly, as Lewis was just waiting for Blaydes to finally make his move, and that's when he dropped the bomb that ended the fight. It obviously paid off, as Lewis built his winning streak to 4 overall, while adding Blaydes to the long list of fighters who made the mistake of testing the power of the Black Beast.
It's so, I mean, how do you not like that? Listen, I don't. A lot of people want to criticize the ref. They want to criticize Derrick Lewis for going on too long. Let's stop criticizing and just enjoy what happened. Thankfully, Blaydes is okay. You know, I bet if you were in the building for that, your heart probably dropped when you saw him crack him with those 2 extra shots. Mm-hmm. But listen, he's fine, and we move on. Mm-hmm. That's it. By the way, I want to say a quick thank you to the Glove Touch for becoming a patron. Thank you very much, the Glove Touch.
Very nice. Very nice.
You know, with Conor McGregor not doing so well, Herb Dean, I was going to say Herb Dean, Derrick Lewis, who was part of like my big 3, is definitely the number 1 for me now. There's no way around it. Derrick Lewis is just, how do you not get excited about a Derrick Lewis fight? Sometimes the dude's got to take a shit, you know. Sometimes, you know, his balls are hot. Here we go, John. 1, 2, 3, 4.
John Jones, crash the show. 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 John Jones, crash the show.
Larry Holmes said he was hit so hard he was unconscious, and when he hit the canvas it brought him back to consciousness and he beat the count and won the fight. Wait until the referee stops it.
It's so true. We've seen it happen. We've seen fighters walk away and somehow their opponent gets back up, Undertaker style. You know, it's part of the game. It's not a pretty part, for sure. Thank you, Joe B. Thank you very much for the wonderful, wonderful donation.
Now, if you scroll up to that picture that you were laughing at, it kind of like tags on to this story. I just thought it was pretty funny, and I think a lot of other people probably found it funny as well, where he referenced the WWE's Undertaker.
Yeah.
After after the knockout.
So great. By the way, something about this is like the suck off Derrick Lewis show. So if you don't like that, maybe tune into the next show. There's something that's so great about the fact that he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. He'll say whatever the hell he wants on the mic. He's not the flashiest of guys when it comes to his technique. It's just he's got bombs in his hands, and he just wants to finish his opponent. That's all. He doesn't even want a 5-round fight. He's saying that he wants a 3-round fight, this guy. Like, he literally could fight for a belt next. And he's just like, nah, give me 3 rounds.
He hates 5 rounds.
Yeah, there's something just so lovable about, like, he's like the everyday guy. It's something that I loved about Cormier. Only Cormier was a decorated wrestler, you know? Decorated, not declarated. A decorated wrestler.
Or declarated.
Yeah, I guess you could say that too. Who gives a fuck?
Wonderful.
But when it comes to Derrick Lewis, he's a guy that got into the game late. He was a guy that was in jail and just couldn't find his, like, he was just all messed up, you know? And here he is now with
everybody has
20
a turnaround.
knockouts.
Yeah.
He's got the 12 on top of the UFC. It's just wild. He fought for a belt kind of on short notice. Now he has a chance to be right back in the mix. He's 36 years old. Like, he's no spring chicken, but he's out there just doing his thing. Just a fun guy to root for.
Yes, sir. I won't stay on this one too long. I just thought it was funny. He said, let me find the quote. I literally just read it in the last article, but I just wanted to like pinpoint on it. Oh, he said he could turn into when they were talking about like the extra shots and stuff and why he continues to go, and Derrick Lewis said anything can happen. He said he could turn into the Undertaker and sit straight up and eat all those shots. So I guess he's referring to fighters who get knocked out and then like look like it doesn't, like Tyson Fury. Like he got knocked out and then, or what we would presume as being knocked out, and he just stood right back up. Remember during the Wilder fight?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what he was referring to, and he did the whole Undertaker thing. People thought it was funny.
Listen, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for doing it. I really don't. Like, what is he supposed to? I mean, we've seen guys like yell and scream at the ref, "Hey, stop it! You know this guy's done." We've seen that happen before, but Curtis was zoned in. And now we move on. And Curtis, excuse me. Derrick was zoned in. And Curtis Blaydes seems to be completely fine until this guy called him. And then not so much, but he's good. He's good. He's okay. He's going to be okay, Jesse.
Yeah.
Right? He's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Derrick Lewis still wants so-called legend Alistair Overeem as soon as he passes concussion protocol.
Okay, listen.
Wait.
I mean, I know I heard him say this, and he's clowning.
I love it. I think it's funny.
You don't want it. Come on.
But it's funny. Is it not funny to you?
It's funny, yes. But we all know
funny.
the UFC is not doing that. We all, especially after how Overeem looked at his last fight, we know that's not happening. You know, he's just, you know, he didn't like the little smack talking, so he's talking some shit.
You gotta love his sense of humor, though.
He wants Alistair. He don't want to fight a 5-round fight. Give me Alistair. He stays busy.
Yeah.
He is. So here's the big conversation before you get into this, Jess. What is next, right?
Yeah.
We know it's not Alistair. We know the UFC's not going to do that.
I've already said.
What do you do with the guy?
I've already said Derrick Lewis deserves the winner of Stipe Ngannou, since John Jones hasn't fought any other heavyweights, and they're only going based off the fact that of name value. I said do the winner of Stipe Ngannou versus Lewis and the loser versus Jones. I think that makes the most sense ranking wise. However, I don't think the UFC is going to put that together.
No,
because Jones is name value.
So the thought, and I think a caller called in on Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken, saying, how about the loser of that fight Derrick Lewis?
But it's like, why? Like, theoretically, Derrick Lewis should fight the winner. You know, like John Jones should fight the loser since he's never fought a heavyweight before. But I understand because he makes the most money.
Something is telling me that John Jones is not going to fight at heavyweight. I really thought he was going up there and he was going to fight at heavyweight. But when you see these guys, right? I know he's bulking up and all this stuff. When you see these guys and what they can do, it's very dangerous. And then you have that spicy Israel Adesanya versus Jan Blachowicz right there. The next big pay-per-view. Don't you think John Jones is going to be sitting there like, wait, hold on a second. Let's wait this out. I think Derrick Lewis, I'm going to make a prediction.
John Jones has already gained to heavyweight.
Yeah.
So he
might be time to lose some weight.
He has to have the fight at heavyweight first. But I do believe that after John Jones fights at heavyweight, whatever happens, he will move back down to light heavy to fight Izzy if Izzy wins the belt.
Listen, the money, to me at least, I would think if Israel Adesanya beats Jan Blachowicz, we're talking a pretty big money fight there. You know, there's already history.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if John Jones fights at heavyweight, it's a massive fight. But what we've seen is John Jones is the GOAT of the UFC, but he's not Conor McGregor when it comes to numbers. Like we've seen,
he sells big pay-per-views.
Look at the rankings. Look at the ratings. Like John Jones is sort of there, but he is not Khabib. He's not Conor. He's not Ronda. He's not that level. And it's crazy because John Jones is the GOAT.
Yeah.
But when it comes to pay-per-view numbers, he's not that guy. Now maybe with him going to heavyweight and fighting for that belt, that might be something
capitalize on a different like an audience's different perspective.
Especially if it's a John Jones versus Ngannou.
Yeah.
That's a big money fight.
Yeah.
John Jones versus Stipe, hate to break it, not the biggest fight in the world when it comes to money. Yeah. Now, when it comes to legacy and stuff, it's a fantastic.
Excitement.
Because you got the greatest heavyweight and you got the greatest light heavyweight getting ready to dance. It's a fantastic fight to get excited about.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of pay-per-view numbers.
John Jones and Ngannou would sell high.
John Jones and Ngannou, yes, would be big. But Israel Adesanya versus John Jones.
That would sell even high. That's like a no-brainer. Yeah, that one would be probably one of John Jones' highest pay-per-views because Izzy alone sells.
So, I think it's very possible, sitting here right now, because Derrick Lewis has to take these fights. You know, he's got to sit here. He's got to take a fight in between.
He doesn't care. Like he doesn't care about the title.
I understand, but if he loses, then he's kind of fucked. You know, so I'm thinking this. And Derrick Lewis did fight Ngannou already. Well, not the best of fights, but he did fight him already.
If they rematched, I have a feeling it would be a different fight. I think they respected each other's power way too much in the first fight, and that's what led to what it was. I think the second time around, because Ngannou beat himself up after that fight. Yeah. I think the second time around, we're going to see a whole different level of those two athletes.
There are two options, okay? We got to find out what happens with Izzy and Jan. Okay, we have to find out what happens here. If Izzy smokes Jan, I have a feeling that John Jones might be like, "Hey, pump the brakes. I think I'm coming back. I think I'm going back to light heavy." If it's like a competitive fight, or if Jan holds on to the belt, John Jones will not fight there. He don't give a fuck about Jan Blachowicz, in my opinion. I don't think.
I agree.
Right? So that ship has sailed. So I think everyone's kind of waiting for this fight to happen. If John doesn't fight at heavyweight, right, you throw Derrick Lewis right in the mix.
John will fight at heavyweight.
If John does fight at heavyweight and fights the winner of Ngannou and
he's already
Stipe,
ready.
You have Rosenstrike and you have Gain, or how you say the guy's name?
Gane. That's how Ariel Helwani was saying it.
Okay, so Rosenstrike and Gane. So what I'm thinking, the more realistic thing for Derrick Lewis right now is going to be the winner of Rosenstrike and Gane. That's what I'm thinking.
But I'm not disappointed in that. I don't mind it.
That's the next fight for Derrick Lewis.
Because Rosenstrike or Gane are both excellent opponents for Lewis, in my opinion.
Both great fights. I mean, if you actually Rosenstrike and Lewis is fantastic.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I like it.
So I think that's the more realistic thing. Me as a fan, I would love to see Derrick fight the winner of Stipe and Ngannou. But when it comes to realistic, John Jones probably is going to fight at heavyweight and fight one of these guys.
He will. Listen, John Jones,
Lewis versus one of those.
John Jones is already built. If you track his Instagram, like I've been kind of paying attention to his Instagram and Izzy's Instagram, and John Jones is ready, dude. Like he is ready to fight at heavyweight. I think at this point now it's honing his skill and preparing himself to fight bigger guys, you know. But I think he's ready physically to fight at heavyweight. So yeah, I have no doubt John Jones takes the winner of Stipe and Ngannou.
Now T Mart in the chat says my brother knows nothing of MMA but knows who Francis Ngannou and John Jones are.
That's why it was.
If I asked him who Stipe was, he would have no clue. And there you go, buddy.
That's exactly why that fight would sell more than if John Jones were to fight Stipe.
I think because I'm a fan. Right, I'm not traditional.
It caters to the casual fan base, or the new fan base.
There's a part of me, no matter how much I watch this sport, there is that casual part of me that wants to see what the big money fight is. I kind of like it, you know. I like the big money fight because I like the media.
But some people who are really like diehards MMA fans. Like they want to see rankings. They want to see fights that make sense, you know.
But I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of float in the middle because I do like the flashy fights. I like the shiny, car rolling in versus the other shiny car. I like watching that shit.
Yeah.
And when you think about it at heavyweight, Stipe Miocic should be the god. The guy is heavyweight, but Ngannou is the person more people are gonna know, and Ngannou Jones would be insane.
I think that would be an excellent fight.
Insane.
Listen, I prefer to see Derrick Lewis fight the winner of Ngannou Stipe simply for ranking purposes and what makes sense and what's exciting to me, because Derrick Lewis is very exciting. I think I would rather see that. However, I can understand why they're putting Jon Jones together, and if Ngannou wins against Stipe and they throw Ngannou Jon Jones together, I would be so hyped for that fight, especially since I love Ngannou so much. I would be very hyped for that fight.
All right,
so I can see it. I get it.
Let's see what the chat says. Hello, chat. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. 233 people hanging.
Hanging with the boys.
Appreciate your company. Everyone smash that like right now immediately. And let's see who you think should be next for Curtis Blaydes. Him too. Derrick Lewis.
I rewatched without commentary twice, and John won at least 3 rounds against both. J-Lock says, honestly, the heavyweight division needed this card because now the heavyweight division is heating up. All right. Brian Cintron says, if you were stranded on an island with only ass to eat, similar to the pork butts, is this relevant to MMA? On the 90s cartoon Cow and Chicken, would you rather eat Mark Hunt's ass or Derrick Lewis's ass? Oh, this is a very good question. Dustin's hot sauce. With Dustin's hot sauce, I'm going to leave this question to Moss. I don't know if I could decide. Eli says Lewis should fight Jones and to get the title shot. So I saw that too, Eli. That's interesting to me. I don't think that that's something that the UFC would think makes sense, and I don't think a lot of MMA fans would be on board with that either, simply because Jon Jones, he was a title holder at light heavyweight, and he fought some of the best of the best. And he is arguably the GOAT, especially for that division. So, and he was the number 1 pound for pound ranking for a long time. So I get what you're saying. Like, if we were to go like full on just rankings, nothing about making money or anything like that, then that makes sense. But I don't think that, and plus as a fan, I don't think that would make sense either.
You exposed me. I was pissing while the comments were being read. You exposed me. My dick was in my hand.
Oh, I had it on the chat, but I was answering his question. I wanted to switch it.
Then you go to this scene, Jesse, so I could take a piss in peace.
They would have still seen you walk behind
No, it's all right. You would have give me the wink. But now they all know I was taking a leak and being very unprofessional. All right, so what's the verdict? Who's going to be next for Derrick Lewis? In the chat. Who is it?
It was like a whole bunch of like different things.
Different things.
Yeah, Overeem, Rosenstrike.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think there's like a verdict that everyone can agree upon.
Lewis versus Volkov 2 with
someone mentioned
Lewis,
that.
Lil D.
Yeah.
Do you want to see that again? I mean, Volkov pretty much owned Lewis. Volkov sitting at number 5. I'm curious to see where the rankings are on Wednesday. Man, Volkov is a player. He's a player.
Would you like to see Volkov over?
As a Lewis fan,
too?
No. Because
really?
I think, yeah.
So I saw Daniel Cormier say on ARIEL and DC today, he said Derrick Lewis got lucky with the Volkov fight.
He did. He was literally just nosediving in that fight.
But you know how Derrick Lewis plays. So do you really think he got lucky, or do you think it was part of his game plan?
What, he played possum for 5 rounds?
Yes.
5 rounds? No, trust me, that was not the game plan. The game plan was not like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, guys. And talk to his coach. He's like, listen, I'm going to get fucked up for 5 rounds, and then I'm going to knock him out. I'm pretty sure that wasn't his game plan, Jess.
Yeah.
It sounds good, but
so
no.
So let me ask you this. In all seriousness.
That possum got ran over 1,000,000 times.
In all seriousness, does Lewis get run over the same way the second time around, or does he come in with a different game plan?
Here's the deal. I never picked against Lewis until the Blaydes fight. And I'm right back on board. I am never, even if he fights Jon Jones, I will never, until Derrick Lewis retires, I will never, ever, ever pick against Derrick Lewis. Ever pick against. I don't give a fuck. I'm back on Fanboy
again,
Chris.
You would...
a third round. Excuse me. Thank you.
Against Volkov again, you would pick Lewis.
Yes. Even though my heart would probably favor Volkov, I would go at Lewis. And I guess the argument would be this: he's a different fighter now than when he fought Volkov the first time. I think he's in the best shape he's ever been in. He looked great. He looked trim. He had a slow start in this one, but we've seen that before. I would pick Lewis. I wouldn't be confident, but I'd pick him.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's talk about the massive co-main event on that card, because I know a lot of people have been dying to talk about that co-main event. So let's touch on it over here, because Kuditskaya versus Vieira, complete fireworks. Listen, this card sucked. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. A lot of finishes over here, and I like knockouts. I like the big finish, the strangle, the big knockout, beautiful stuff. The mismatches were so ridiculous on this card. You know, people stand out. Tom Aspinall beats up a very old Arlovsky. Poor fucking what's his face, Olenek gets just destroyed by Daukaus. It was a tough one to watch. This card, real tough one to watch here. Some people stood out, but we're gonna have to see some more. Casey O'Neill looked very, very good against Shannon Dobson. But let's be honest, Shannon Dobson's a can, and I pretty much got all my picks wrong here. But the card wasn't that great. People stood out, looked great, very dominating performances by a lot of fighters here, but not much competitive action on this card. The main event is the only thing I really could give two fucks about. So we did discuss the Derrick Lewis knockout, which was crazy in the second round. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else here. A nice performance by Minor, by the way. Minor looked very good against Charles Rosa. Mena or whatever the hell you say his name is. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The guy looked like ARIEL HELWANI. ARIEL HELWANI took note of it and made comments. Never gave us credit. Meanwhile, we the first to spot that, Jesse. And Slim Shady gets the win again, and that's about it. Okay, let's give a shout out to our sponsors real quick and then dive back into the news. By the way, shout out to our goat milk winner. What was his name?
Bubba Smith.
Bubba Smith, I think. We sent out your Ballsy products. So I hope you enjoy it. I want a thorough review. And Ballsy, let's learn some more about Ballsy, because we have a promo code to get 15% off. Now, fun fact, before the stream happened, I bathed and I lathered myself with actually that product. That product right there on the bottom over there was the cool... the hell was it?
Ball wash.
Yeah.
The Ocean Air.
Ocean Air, thank you. Yes, Ocean Air is what I used, and I got to say, the Ocean Air, if you're going to order this stuff, is by far my favorite scent. They all smell good, but this one is definitely my go-to scent.
I agree.
Tell us some more about Ball Wash, Ballsy.
All right, taking great care of yourself doesn't have to feel like a chore. Ballsy products are developed with unique active ingredients to keep you feeling and smelling better than ever before. Get 15% off with promo code MMA-Holes at ballwash.com. Link in the description. Again, that's 15% off using promo code MMA-Holes. That's MMA-HOLES, all one word, with the link in the description to ballwash.com. Take care of those sensitive berries.
By the way, the code says your berries. We need to change that to actual... I don't know, she has like berries there. It might be confusing to find it. So
your sensitive berries.
You need to change it to Ballsy. Just put Ballsy in the description, please. Because I'm looking through. I'm like, where the hell is this thing? And if I can't find it, they can't find it.
Emoji of the cherries.
Yes, no cherries. Because no guy wants to refer to their nuts as cherries.
I've seen guys refer to their nuts as berries.
Yeah, they say twig and berries, but no one says twig and cherries.
Well, that's the only berries I could find.
Yeah, no berries. Let's get to
keeping the berries.
Yeah, put Ballsy down there so they fucking know. Okay. Anyway, look for the cherries for the discount. I'm sure the company's going to be real thrilled about that.
Say goodbye to toilet paper with affordable premium bidet attachments by Lux Bidet. Lux Bidet attachments gently cleanse your skin, leaving you feel refreshed and confident. Save 10% at checkout using the link in the description below. Again, that's 10% off at checkout with the link in the description below. You can get your simple 1, 2, 3 step attachment to put on your toilet and have a nice, clean butthole. 2
products, use every day. This one I use multiple times a day. It's kind of crazy. I think I am going to run off with my Lux Bidet on Jessie. I'm going to leave her for the bidet because it just feels so good to be clean.
Get top quality organic CBD products, including extracts, hemp flower, cosmetics, edibles, and more. Get up to 20% off using promo code MMA-Holes. That's promo code MMA-HOLES at mysticrootscbd.com. Again, go to mysticrootscbd.com for all of your top quality organic hemp CBD needs. You get 20% off, promo code MMA-HOLES, mysticrootscbd.com.
Also, if you want to watch the fights coming up this weekend, use the ESPN Plus app, link down below. Everyone that uses that link and signs up, and thank you to all the people that do that. Seriously, Thank you. It helps us out tremendously. ESPN Plus, you can watch all the fights through our link down below. So someone in the chat said something about Jan Blachowicz and underestimating Jan Blachowicz. I was watching in the garage today, Jan Blachowicz, and rewatching Jan Blachowicz and Reyes. Did you get a chance to watch that fight again?
That one hurt me because I picked Reyes in that fight and he got knocked the fuck out.
Jan Blachowicz looked so good in that fight that I was thinking, and I picked Jan, pat on my back. But I was thinking, I was like, maybe I might go that route in this Izzy fight. I'm picking Izzy. I'm trying to make an argument to why I'm going to pick Jan. And then when I watched that fight again, I was like, holy shit, if this guy gets in the cage, that same guy that went in against Dominic Reyes. Well, and listen, Izzy and Dominic Reyes are completely different. I think Dominic Reyes is a little bit of a head case, to be honest. But just watching the confidence of the Polish power and how he took out Dominic Reyes and the beautiful work to the body. I mean, if he cracks Izzy to the body like that, Izzy will break in half.
No,
Izzy will break. Do you
Izzy's
remember?
Been cracked in the body like that before when he was doing kickboxing. He's
Jan
Blachowicz
left his footprint on Reyes' ribs. Left his footprint there. I don't think Izzy's ever felt anything like that.
Yes, he has. He did kickboxing at heavyweight. He's taken some serious damage to the body.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
I understand. You're a big Adesanya fan, and Adesanya's very good. But let's just try to be unbiased for a second here.
No, this is completely unbiased. I feel given Adesanya's history as a heavyweight kickboxer, I think he could take the damage. I think he could take the power. I get where you're coming from, but
I'm telling you, man, if Jan Blachowicz works that body the way he worked Reyes, I mean, he was just zinging him in. He was doing combinations and finishing him with the chop to the ribs. My goodness, that's a good fight. It really is. The more I'm thinking about it, I'm really looking forward to that fight. I'm still leaning towards Izzy, but you can make a good case that Jan's gonna win that.
How do you think the fight's gonna go down?
What do you mean how? Like the outcome?
Yeah, like how do you think Jan's gonna approach the fight?
I see if Izzy wins a decision. That's what I see. I see Izzy being very cautious, trying to pick him apart,
like
and
get
go
a
the
feel
distance.
feel him out.
Yeah, I don't think Izzy finishes Jan. I don't see that. I don't. I think Jan's a little too tough.
You don't think he would at least try?
I mean, everyone tries. Of course. What do you mean try? Like, of course they try.
I'm saying like some fighters, they don't try to finish their opponent if they're playing it safe. They strike and back up, you know? So there's two different approaches Izzy could take in this fight. But I'm wondering what approach Jan is going to take.
This is a fight that can catapult Izzy, and it could also break him. You know, if Izzy gets destroyed... I don't think it would
break him, because you know what people will say is, well, he moved up to light heavy.
Yeah, you can say that, but now you got to lick your wounds and go back. And he's got some killers waiting to get revenge. You know what I'm saying? So this is a fight that can really hurt Israel Adesanya. He's taking a pretty big gamble against a guy like Jan Blachowicz.
He's a pretty strong
star
striker.
Power. I'm saying it's a very big gamble.
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz is not like a household name. So if you're Israel Adesanya, you lose to Jan, a lot of those casuals out there are gonna be like, who'd you lose to? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
it could hurt his ego. It could hurt something inside him, and he can go crawling back to middleweight and say someone catches revenge.
By finish? Like, what if he loses by decision? Then
let me just say this:
he could just say he went the distance with Jan.
I'm gonna make a prediction. If Izzy loses to Jan, say if he gets smashed, Jan takes him out, destroys him, right? Just breaks him. Izzy goes back down to middleweight, and say Robert Whittaker's in the mix. Robert Whittaker's gonna win the rematch.
What? Against Izzy?
Yep.
At middleweight? No, that's not happening.
That's my prediction.
That is not happening.
If a couple things have to happen. He has to lose and be broken by Jan. If he's broken by Jan and then crawls back.
And not be broken by Jan and still win against Whittaker.
He will lose to Whittaker.
What makes you think he's going to be broken if he loses against Jan?
He will lose if he gets broken. I'm saying if.
So what would it take, in your opinion, for Izzy to get broken?
Finished.
You really think that if he gets finished against Jan, he's just going to be...
If he gets finished against Jan and he runs into Bobby Knuckles again, mark my words, Robert Whittaker, who fought that fight the first time, all high on emotions, in front of his people, this and that.
I disagree.
I think a clearer-head Robert Whittaker is a little bit more problematic. Remember, Kelvin Gastelum was a problem Kelvin Gastelum was a problem.
But you also seem to forget that Izzy gave Gastelum just as much heat in that fight.
I'm telling you right now, this is a prediction here. If Israel Adesanya gets finished by Jan Blachowicz and goes back down and somehow winds up fighting Robert Whittaker in the rematch, I pick Robert Whittaker for the win.
That's a stupid pick. That's a really stupid pick.
How is it stupid? Robert Whittaker was a champ. You're acting like...
So?
You don't think
Chris
by
was a champ once.
You don't think that your biasness might be blinding a possibility of something happening?
You can call it whatever you want. You can put whatever label you want on it. I just know Izzy is a good fucking fighter, and I think that it would be impossible for me to see Izzy falling against Whittaker by being broken by Jan.
Israel Adesanya, so great. Israel Adesanya is the best. Israel Adesanya beats everybody. Israel, that's all I hear. Oh yeah, rah rah rah, and he's very good. But can we talk about paths that might not work out for Izzy? Why is always got to be rah rah Izzy?
Because he hasn't given me a reason not to.
Okay. Let's see what the chat says.
Oh, we talking big boys. My bad. Thought we were talking little guys, says Yoda Twinkie. Whittaker fighting Yoel 2 times in a row hurt him, says Duke Chronic. Brewster says Jess is right, Moss. That is not a smart pick. Whittaker could win. All right, I'm sorry, I missed it. I'm sorry, man. Swarm says I got Izzy by submission. Yoda says Izzy is a monster, bruh. Matt Stone says Israel. Ryan says jealous. Duke Chronic says show the KO. Brewster says now you're getting it, Moss. Izzy is a beast. All we hear from Moss is Connor is so great, says Khabib time. MMA Genius says not as bad as your GM3 pick, Pow. Killer Bones laughing in the chat. Preston says really hope Moss is wrong about this one. Noah's Ghost says hard body kicks could get Izzy to drop his hands. Eli says Jan has a chance to mess Izzy up bad. Michael Hickboy says the king is back. Spicy Tiger Shrimp says D Brown. The Glove Touch says Izzy has been cracked before. Yes, he has. Kevin from Chicago says he went life and death with a fat cholo. Gunny says until he loses, why go elsewhere? Alex Sebastian says Israel has never faced a real heavyweight. Those guys were 220. That's a small light heavyweight. Todd Johnson says Izzy by decision.
It's a great fight. It really is. I like this fight a lot. I really do. And if Izzy destroys Jan Blachowicz, like that catapults him in a way that launches him in the direction of John Jones, and maybe hopefully they collide. That would be fun watching Bones and Izzy. We need Izzy not to lose. He can't lose, because if he does lose, the ship is going to sail for the John Jones fight. That's gone. That ship is gone. So now he has to go back down to middleweight and do whatever he's got to do back there. Beat the guys he's already beaten, which is very possible that he could do. But
he's not.
You're gonna cry if Izzy loses.
I would be very emotional.
I think she's gonna cry.
No, I won't cry, but I would be emotional about it. Yeah, because I have high hopes of Israel Adesanya, or I have high not hopes, expectations of Israel Adesanya.
You're a true fan, and I hope Izzy does come on the show so we could reunite. We could unite a true fan. And a god.
I don't treat him like a god.
I mean, let's be honest, Jess.
This
has to happen.
I have high expectations of him.
Okay. I could see you're. Okay. That's a hardcore fan right there. Listen, ride or die. You have to give respect to the ride or die fan. You have to, even if it's delusion involved. You have to give respect to it, because listen, you're not flip flopping here. No matter what we throw at you, you're still going to stick with your guy or gal. And that's respectable. A lot of people in the chat will never stick to a fighter. They will never stay on one fighter. They will bounce around like a floozy. So listen, as much as I ride you and have a little fun, you got to think, I got to give you the respect that you deserve sticking with your guy.
Thanks, Mom.
5 minutes are on the clock. Let's save that show. Here we go. The clock is going. Every donation that comes in, we go that much longer. So $5, 5 minutes, $10, 10 minutes. A gazillion dollars, a gazillion minutes. Let's go, people. Help us out. And we're going to read another story here. Okay. Hopefully we get some saves.
So remember the whole Chas Skelly situation during the UFC Fight Night on Saturday night?
Yeah, he did karaoke. It freaked me out. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Well, they finally have a story on Jamal Emmers pulling out of his UFC Fight Night versus Chas Skelly in a back injury. According to Paul Kasabian, I think that's how you pronounce his name, of Bleacher Report, Skelly had made his walk to the octagon and awaited Emmers, but he did not arrive. Octagon announcer Joe Martinez then announced the fight would not occur because of medical reasons backstage. Officially, Emmers withdrew from the fight. Per ESPN's Mark Ramundi, Emmers did not need to be hospitalized. Skelly said in a broadcasted interview, I feel like I should get my win bonus. I weighed in, I made weight, I stepped in the cage. That's how I feel. I hope Jamal is okay. No animosity. It sucks. ARIEL Helwani also provided commentary on the moment, saying, we've had fighters pull out minutes before a fight, but never quite like this. Don't recall the opponent already being in the cage. Feel for both. Can't imagine how bad Emmers must be feeling to not make that walk. 2 other UFC fight nights were canceled for different reasons as well. Rafael Alves weighed in at 11.5 pounds.
This
over.
poor guy, though, man.
Yeah.
He was in the cage by himself. No one. He's like, okay, go home. You're not going to fight. That's crazy.
Well, listen, it was something that couldn't be prevented. Unfortunately, the back spasms were just, good thing he didn't have to be hospitalized. But it does suck. It does fucking suck, especially for Skelly, who did everything right. He made weight and all the way up to the moment of being in the cage. So I'm
crazy.
sure it fucking sucks.
Okay, next story. We got 3 minutes for the save. If we don't get a save, it's all good. We'll see you on Wednesday night. We have Will Harris coming on from Anatomy of a Fighter, and we have Lights Out Lytle. Chris Lytle will be on the show as well. A double feature of guests on the Wednesday show.
Kamaru Usman just exposed Colby Covington's tremendous mistake, quote unquote. Have you heard about this?
No. He didn't pull out?
According
he did pull out.
To Jesse Holland of MMA Mania, all signs point to bitter rival Jorge Masvidal after a successful full camp campaign, one that not only got the attention of the Nigerian Nightmare, but also responsible for the return of the Ultimate Fighter reality show on ESPN. But that spot could have gone to fellow contender Colby Covington had KS chose to step up and fight number 3 ranked contender Leon Edwards when a slot became available. Instead, the longtime Trumpian opted to sit out on the sidelines and make championship demands. A tremendous mistake, according to Usman. So...
Wonderful.
Someone's tickling the donate boy. The glove touch.
2 minutes.
All right, we're at 2 minutes. Glove touch. Thank you very much.
I hope that's enough.
Then 2 minutes, baby.
Oh, God.
Thank you, glove touch. Appreciate it. All right, 2 minutes on the clock. Let's see if we get some saves.
All right, so basically what Usman said was for you to sit here and demand, oh, yeah, I've done enough, I demand my shot. First of all, you weren't the UFC's favorite in the first place. It's not that...
Oh, hold on. D-Rest coming. 7 more minutes. With the booby trap.
Show the save.
Okay, 9 minutes. With 1:30 left on the clock, Jesse, will we get any more heroes? Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate the donations. All wonderful, wonderful people.
Yes, sir. He continued on by saying, it's not that you're selling mad pay-per-views. So for you to sit here and demand something like that, I think it's ridiculous. I think the best way for you to solidify your title shot is to go out there and fight. And what better way than to knock off the number 3 guy? He's on his way up. He's making the claim to the throne that he deserves that shot. What better way than to knock him off? He failed to do that, and I think he made a tremendous mistake. So it appears to me that Usman is losing more and more respect for Covington as time progresses because Covington seems to be avoiding good fights that could launch him.
This storyline's getting stupid. Glove touch, thank you very much. What do we got? 7, 8, 9?
11.
11 minutes. Thank you. 11 more minutes. Thank you very much, the glove touch. You are wonderful, wonderful. All right, 30 seconds left. 33 seconds left. Will we get another save or will we be going 11 minutes extra? Thank you to the new subscribers that came in on Saturday night. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful. Okay, here we go. Let's look. What we got here? Jesse?
11 minutes.
11 minutes. It's good. It's all good. 16 seconds are on the clock. Any more saves going to come in? Conor McGregor's still going crazy in the background. Seems like his leg is fine. But here we go. 8 seconds. 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wonderful.
Okay, let's put 11 minutes on the clock. Not enough time for phone calls, but what we'll do with this is we will finish the news. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. You are all wonderful, wonderful. Everyone that slapped a donation in the donation box. And please, if you have a chance, hit that like button. Completely free. Helps us out tremendously and is wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
So,
all right.
Usman losing respect for Covington once again, Moss.
Oh, Usman. No respect. By the way, so according to the nose, the ARIEL Helwani is saying that they are kind of close to locking in the, what's it called? Masvidal versus Usman. Tough and rematch fight.
Who said that? HELWANI?
Ariel, yeah.
What was his source?
So he says, according to his sources, which Ariel does pretty much have good sources here, reliable sources. So
close to locking in what? Masvidal and what?
I just said Masvidal versus Usman. What the fuck?
I didn't hear you.
You're sitting right next to me. Yeah, Masvidal versus Usman, tough, and the rematch fight. It looks like it's almost a done deal. Very close. So this storyline of, Usman is not feeling generous, they're saying might be number one bullshit. Jesse, number one bullshit.
Yeah.
This is number one bullshit.
Just something to throw out there.
I mean, I'm not like 100% opposed to it, but I'm kind of with you with the idea of not wanting to see Usman on tough.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
I think I can pass.
I don't like
it. But listen, if they think that's what's gonna make the most money, then more power to them, I guess.
But finally, what I'm noticing,
sense to me, but whatever.
A lot of, and by the way, Will Harris coming on Wednesday, good friends with Usman. We'll get his idea on this whole situation with the champ, and Habib too as well. He's friendly with Habib. I like the fact that on social media, people are understanding Jorge Masvidal is a little bit fluff, a little bit of fluff going on here with Jorge. Maybe he's not as superstar great as everyone's making him out to be. So it's nice to see someone out there is actually recognizing reality.
Yeah.
Now, who is this guy?
Barcelos tested positive for COVID-19. He's withdrawing from the fights this weekend.
I don't know who he is. Am I supposed to know who he is?
Yes, Mozzie's supposed to know who he is.
I have no clue who this guy is.
Okay.
Barcelos.
According to Guilherme Cruz and Mike Heck of MMA Fighting, hours after UFC finally got Haroni.
Wonderful.
I don't hate Street Jesus. What the fuck are you talking about?
Friend of the show William Knight is fighting Alonzo Minefield this weekend for the UFC Blackweight Championship of the World. Hopefully he survives the Holes curse, but I don't know. Also, did Martha Stewart really just die?
How many times you got to keep winning to say the curse is over? By the way, I spoke to him today. He said thank you. We said we'll be rooting for him. So we did say thank you. The clock is on. Yes, it is on. It's behind me. But yeah, I actually spoke to him. I slid into his DMs and spoke to him. He does not like to do interviews, really. Like the times we had him on, it's rare. So he doesn't like to do interviews, especially fight week. He's very focused on Menafield, and he's got a tough fight coming up, So William Knight, good luck. We'll be reacting to your fights this weekend. Thank you, Pulse.
So what?
What happened?
Martha Stewart passed away?
Martha Stewart's dead? What?
Not that one.
Oh.
A different Martha
There's
Stewart.
another Martha Stewart.
Not the same Martha Stewart.
Okay, then who cares? Rest in peace, but
He
I don't...
was trying to trick us into thinking it was that Martha Stewart.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see that part of Pulse's donation. I was too busy talking about the other stuff.
Yeah. All right. TJ Dillashaw wants a title fight.
Wait, what happened to this guy? I still don't know who this guy is.
His cornerman tested positive for COVID-19. He was supposed to fight this weekend.
Okay.
So he announced it on social media today that unfortunately he will not be fighting.
Yeah, I thought we were going to find out who he was. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a casual, but I have no idea who that guy is.
Returning TJ Dillashaw wants the title fight or top 5 opponent. The ultimate goal is to be the champion, according to Farrah Hannon of MMA Junkie. And I can't blame the guy. I can't blame him. Coming off of a 2-year hiatus on EPO, we're gonna get a no EPO Dillashaw coming back to fight for a title.
But what was he gonna say? I want to come back and lose? Like, what kind of stupid article is this?
Well, no, he's saying he doesn't want to come back and fight like top 10, top 15. He wants to fight top 5.
What is TJ Dillashaw? What is he supposed to say? What does he say? Give me a scrub. Like, what is he supposed to say?
Well, I guess because people think since he was on that 2-year break that maybe he doesn't deserve top 5. So he's trying to make the point that he does deserve top 5 or even a title shot coming back.
I mean, he's coming off a suspension for cheating, right? So if he was like
2 years suspension.
Yeah, but if he's like, give me a layup fight. I cheated. Give me a layup fight. That's just like kind of weak, no?
That's not what he's saying. I think because people are not everybody's on board with him having a top guy coming back, especially after cheating. So he's trying to make the case that he does deserve a top 5.
Oh, it says 10 hours. Fucking A. I put 10 hours here. We're going
You're
live for
6
10
minutes
hours.
in.
Holy shit. Hold on a second.
So.
All right. Here, we'll put 6 on the clock. We'll give you some extra time. Sorry about that. We're going to go live for 10 hours, Jesse. What do you think? It's a pretty good deal, right?
Of time for phone calls.
It's a pretty good deal. There it is. Nice. Nice. Thank you.
Oh, God.
All right. So, yeah, what is TJ Dillashaw supposed to do? What is he, like, this is a stupid article. Like, if you think about it, who wrote this? MMA Junkie?
I can't blame him for making the case for himself. A lot of people don't want him to have a top 5 guy because he's a cheater and he's coming back off after a long layoff and blah, 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 blah. So I can't blame him for making a case for himself. I say he could give him a top 5 guy or a title shot. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, but what is he supposed to say? Like,
he could just not say anything.
What?
He just let people talk. You know?
No, of course he's gonna say, "Listen, I want to fight the top guys." He's gonna say, "Give me a fucking bum. I just got suspended for 2 years. Give me the shittiest fighter you could throw at me."
Yeah.
Like, he's not. I mean, it's just silly. This guy should be fired. MMA Junkie, whoever wrote this article.
Farrah Hannon, your favorite.
Farrah Hannon, listen, you need to go back to your Marilyn Manson concerts.
You love her.
Fuck kind of story. All right.
According to MMA Fighting Newswire, Mortal Kombat actor Louis Tan says he's based his part of his character on Jorge Masvidal. Could you imagine a Mortal Kombat character based off of none other than Jorge Masvidal?
Well, Jorge Masvidal is God's gift to martial arts.
What about him screams Mortal Kombat to you?
Well, Johnny Cage, right? I don't know.
All right. It appears that Jorge Masvidal's influence.
Yeah, who's the guy?
Has gone from the octagon to the big screen, while Gamebred might just be preparing himself for another crack at Kamaru Usman in the welterweight title.
Any Latino characters in Mortal Kombat?
I don't even know all the characters in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, GTA makes more sense. Yoda Twink, I'm with you. Yeah, what martial?
Soon to be released Mortal Kombat reboot will have shades of the BMF champion. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, actor Louis Tan, who plays the role of Cole Young, plays an MMA fighter who was a former champion that saw his hopes, dreams, confidence, and accomplishments fade away over time.
Cole Young?
Yeah, there is a scene in the movie where the character of Young is in a fight and he leans up against the cage, tapping into the iconic image of Masvidal's before delivering one of the most memorable moments in the history of the sport. He said that's what Jorge Masvidal did before he knocked out Ben Askren in 5 seconds and set the whole MMA community on fire. Additionally, Tan told EW that he sees a similar salt of earth grit between his character and Masvidal, who was certainly humbled by the comparisons. He tweeted out, Masvidal said, actors using me as inspiration is an honor, and after watching the trailer, I'm hyped for the movie.
We need Jorge to get back in the cage quickly, man.
I can't.
We need him back in the cage because these stories, I don't know how much more I could take.
Oh, God.
I don't know what it is. Like, it's just, I feel like it's Jorge overload, and we got to see him fight. You know, we need to see him compete again. But it looks like we said earlier, it looks like that the stars are going to line up and he will fight Usman, according to the news, ARIEL Helwani. So we'll see how that plays out. But and a season of The Ultimate Fighter with Jorge just being super cool, man. Mm-hmm. Super necessary.
Wonderful.
Street Jesus needs to stop. Usman literally exposed him in front of the whole world. And by exposed I mean he got a crotch grab and exposed those Jesus pubis on live pay-per-view.
Thank you. DSV. Thank you so much. DVSV, excuse me.
How long has this guy been around?
Who cares? It's a bunch of letters. Like, I don't know what DVSV is. Maybe I should just call him Flood, right?
Okay, call him Flood.
Thank you, Flood. What is DVSV Flood? What is that? What do you think that is? Do you think he's like a plumber or something?
Ask him.
What does that stand for? Out of curiosity. DVSV Flood. Maybe it's his company? Like he fixes floods? DVSV Flood. I wonder what that stands for. A very supportive individual, though. I got to give him credit.
Vagina saves.
The vagina?
Yeah. The vagina saves.
Deep vagina satisfying victory. Is that what it stands for?
Yeah.
Do vaginas serve vegetables? Is that what it is? Do vaginas serve vegetables?
Yeah. The vagina.
It's a good question.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Hey, let's go. Out of the chat. All right. What do we have? Randy Brown.
Yeah, out of UFC Fight Night 186, Alex Oliveira needs a new opponent. According to John Morgan of MMA Junkie, Alex Oliveira is in need of a new opponent for Saturday's event. Randy Brown has been forced to withdraw from a planned matchup with Cowboy at the end, or at the event. MMA Junkie has learned from a person with knowledge of the withdrawal, though that the reason for the move wasn't disclosed.
Okay.
The person who requested anonymity because the UFC has yet to make an official announcement said the promotion is currently seeking a new opponent.
That was actually a good fight. That sucks.
Well, the question is, do they find the new opponent, or does Alex Oliveira lose his fight
Hopefully
before this
they do.
weekend?
I like Alex Oliveira. He's fun to watch.
Yeah. Kevin Lee is planning a UFC return against Tony Ferguson, saying one of us is going to have to leave, according to Jesse Holland of MMA Mania. By the way, I want to point out, I saw on MMA Twitter this morning, it's been all over the place.
Yes.
There's this thing going around about Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson.
Yes.
Being scheduled and all this stuff. That shit is fake news. I looked everywhere for an article on that being announced.
Yeah, the guy, I retweeted it, but yeah, I don't think it's real.
Not real.
It doesn't even make sense, to be honest.
Not real, not
If
happening.
you're Chandler, at least.
Unless they come out with an article tomorrow or Wednesday. As far as it stands right now, there is no news on Michael Chandler and Tony Ferguson, which, by the way, would be a fucking... They would just set Ferguson up to die, to be honest.
It's a good fight. Wait, what?
Yeah, I think Ferguson would get run over by Chandler.
You think it...
I really believe it.
All right, well, since the show is over, in the comment section down below, let us know who would win that fight, Chandler or Ferguson. That's what I'd like to know. Interesting.
Do you think Ferguson stands a chance against Chandler?
Yes, I do.
Really?
I mean, listen.
After what?
I think Ferguson's best days are behind him, but you can't just completely write him out
After
here.
what you saw of Michael Chandler.
We didn't see much.
Okay, well,
we didn't see
after
much.
what you know of Michael Chandler and after what you saw from Ferguson in his last few fights, you
ready
really
for this?
think Chandler
Ferguson
beats
beats Hooker.
I disagree.
Okay, my opinion. Ferguson beats Hooker. Ferguson beats Hooker.
Ferguson would have a better chance of beating Hooker than
he beats Hooker.
Chandler. But I think Chandler would run over Ferguson.
All right, so it's a conversation for the comment section. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate your time. Remember, Wednesday will be Lytle and Will Harris from Anatomy of a Fighter on our Wednesday show. Looking very much forward to that. See you then.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors, Ballsy, ballwash.com. Link in the description. Promo code MMA-Holes, 20% off. Luxpedite, link in the description, 10% off at checkout. And mysticrootcbd.com. Promo code MMA-Holes, 20% off of your entire purchase. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your continued support. We will see you Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And as always, don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-hole.